Welcome to another episode of the Crazy Canuck Truckin' Podcast. Continuing the series on the Manitoba Truck Driving Championships, Manitoba and Saskatchewan, actually, championships, professional drivers. It's a great day for everybody. It will be June 17th at the Husky Truck Stop in Headingley, Manitoba. Anybody's welcome to stop by there, but we appreciate getting as many contestants in there as possible. And getting families to stop by, getting whatever. It's a good day. There's food there. There's good times. And you can learn a lot about the trucking industry. There will be a lot of drivers there you can talk to, a lot of people in all aspects of the trucking industry, from the police officers, the DOT compliance officers, presidents of companies, lots of drivers. There will be office workers from the companies. There will be, of course, everybody from the MTA will be there. They're amazing advocates for our industry. The Manitoba Trucking Association has done a fantastic job here in Manitoba looking after the drivers. And I say this, I haven't always been a part of the MTA or worked for a company that was part of the MTA, but they have always done their best for every trucker in Manitoba, whether they are part of the MTA or not. Everything they do, every bit of advocacy helps for each one of us. So be involved. On a personal note, one of my mental health things that I do to help myself is I grow sweet corn every year. If you follow my podcast, I've talked about it. I've put it on social media, done different things. Today it's May the 23rd. I had to look at my date, but it is May 23rd, and I've got all my sweet corn planted for this year. And looking forward to good crop with that, and meeting people when I'm selling it and having a good corn roast. So have two amazing drivers coming up. I know them both quite well, and we had some great conversations. So sit down, buckle in, put your listening ears on, and listen first to Kelvin Johnson from Arnold Brothers Transport, and then to Bruce McKechnie of Bison Transport. Have a great day. Welcome to the program. And who I have on, Kelvin Johnson today.
Good morning, David.
Good morning. How are things going today?
Today's not a bad day.
What's the temperature like as we're recording this?
Minus 18 Celsius.
Isn't that nice weather for March?
Let's just say my March goes out like a lamb.
Yeah. So who do you drive for? And give us a short bio about yourself.
I've been driving Arnold Brothers since November of '99.
Wow.
So I love the job. I love the family. They are like family to everybody, and they work with you.
Yeah.
And overall driving, too many years to count.
Do you have a regular route for Arnold's, or?
I do now. I'm dedicated down to Vermilion, South Dakota, and back 3 times 1 week and 2 times the second week.
Okay. How do you like that run?
I actually enjoy it. I mean, it's all night driving, but I'm used to night driving.
Okay.
You got to have that skill to drive nights.
Yeah, and I always say I don't mind driving nights or days, but I don't want to be changing nights and days all the time. So
no, that's the first thing to do.
When you have a regular route, you know what you're always doing, then that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how many years have you competed in the truck driving championships?
I missed last year, so this year coming up would be my 8th or 9th.
8 or 9th. And what category do you compete in?
It varies. I like to switch it around.
Okay.
I've done tandems. I did straight truck one year, single tandem. And this year I want to do Super Bs.
Okay. Do you when was the last time you pulled Super Bs?
That was a long time. I got to think about that.
Why do you why do you want to get into Super Bees this time?
It's something different,
Yeah.
and you want to try something different.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah.
I want to do.
So why do you? Let's go to the basics here. Why do you compete in this?
You know
What's
what?
the
It's
thrill?
fun. Ken. It is just to have fun. The first year I went out, I thought I was serious, and then after that, I realized have fun. It's more entertaining when you have fun.
Yeah. So do you think that all the competitors are like that, or what is the general atmosphere at the
They
competition?
basically maybe 10% are serious. The other 90% are there just to have a good time and enjoy and camaraderie. There's
Yeah.
people I've seen in years. I see them at the rodeo,
Yeah.
and as you catch up and you reminisce,
Yeah.
and you meet new friends.
How hard is it convince how hard is it to convince your company to let you go into that?
Well, it's not hard at all. They ask us.
Yeah. Do you normally have a team?
Yes, we do. We usually get enough to get a team. Never two teams, but enough for one team.
Yeah. What do you find is the benefit to you? Like, is there, let me ask this first. Is there a benefit to you in your normal job by competing?
I think it does fine tune some of your skills that you learned so many years ago. To have to go back and think about it, it's more of something that you're going to remember.
Yeah. Is it so it's something that you would use every day on the road because
Yes,
you're paying attention?
you're paying a lot more attention than you realize. I mean, you're paying attention now, but you're thinking about that. And when you're thinking about that, it's clicking into something that I should do this all the time.
Yeah. What do you find is your biggest challenge at the competition?
You know what? It's that pressure that you put on yourself to not make a mistake.
Yeah.
And that's when you do make a mistake. So if you go in there with relaxed attitude of just have fun and do what you can do, it seems to be so much easier.
So on the driving portion where you're running the track, what is the one challenge there that you're always hoping that you ace and is always difficult?
Believe it or not, it's the angle dock, the angle alley, the offset
Yeah.
alley.
Offset alley.
Yep.
So describe that one.
It's basically where they're set up that they're almost at a little bit of an angle offset by about 5 or 6 feet, and you have to be able to go through there without touching either sides of the poles.
Do they give you much room with that?
There's enough room, but it's more or less it comes down to your ability to judge your distance. And if you can't judge your distance, you're going to wind up rubbing against one side or the other.
Yeah. They only give you inches there. They don't give you extra feet.
No, you get inches, you don't get feet.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I.
how do you like the pre-trip portion of the competition?
Oh, I love that because you could actually find more stuff than they're looking for.
Yeah. Do you find it challenging to find everything that they want? Because sometimes you can find things that you don't like, but
I
might
do
not be.
because they're never the same. They're always different. They're always mixing it up. So you have to really remember what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I know the one year he had a rock between the tires, and
Yeah.
nobody. But they caught everything else, and there's a few things they didn't even realize. But yeah, nobody caught the rock.
Yeah. So that skill there would help you a lot in your daily pre-trips,
Oh,
just paying more attention to detail.
yep.
So do you think that this competition should be something that more companies and more drivers are pushing to get into?
Oh, I do believe so. It is so much fun, and it's just a day where you can show off your skills. And I think that's what a lot of people need is just to go and have a good time and show off that, hey, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Let me see you do it. And away you go and you do it for them.
You when new drivers come to the competition, how do they usually fare at
I've seen some new guys first time in there win it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of he may look like he's a rookie, but he's not a rookie. He's been driving. He's been driving for years. It's basically like any given Sunday. Anybody can beat anybody. You can have a bad day and you can have a great day.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's trucking in a nutshell, isn't it? Like
Exactly right.
some days we can hit with an inch on each side, and some days we can't hit a barn door.
Well, I've had a few of them where I could not back it into a hole, and I just pulled it straight out, made a circle, and then backed up as if nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Give your head, pull it out, and do it all over again.
You just need a reset sometimes.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? What is the thing you find easiest in the competition?
I would say basically really it comes to the written test, because now it's making you go back to remember all these little questions they ask. Those 50 questions can sometimes really confuse you. But if you're thinking about it, you don't think this is automatic. This is what's going to happen. You just automatically answer and away you go.
Do you know what the questions are going to be ahead of time?
No. I mean, they give you a sample question, but those could be questions that could have changed automatically.
Yeah.
I do know the one that's always on there, and everybody should know that, is how many seconds you should give for distance.
Yeah. So how many seconds is it?
7 seconds.
7 seconds. Yep.
Because walking the 7 seconds, it's like when somebody passes you in a whiteout condition, that 7 seconds is the amount of time it takes for the snow to clear so you can see what's going on. And you can travel a long way in 7 seconds.
Sure can. Sure can. What advice do you have for other contestants, either new or old contestants, or new or veteran contestants?
You know what? Have fun. Nobody's judging you. Just go out and have a good time. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. That's good advice, because it really is a day just for drivers, right?
It is. And you get to, as I said, compadreism for all the people that you run with, and you see them on the road all the time. But now you can actually sit back and go head to head and have a good little conversation and swap stories.
How do you look at when you get together at the competition? There's people from all levels of trucking there. Like there's some of the bosses. I've seen your bosses show up. I've seen there's DOT is there, police is there, the MTA is there. How do you think that helps for you?
Oh, I enjoy, because there's questions. I like to ask people questions about certain things that I don't know, but they have a better understanding, and they'll help me set me straight on it. They'll explain it in a better way than reading a piece of paper. They'll tell you this is what you need to be doing and how to do it the right way. They give you experience.
Yeah. And so it's in a non-confrontational type of setting. So
it is. Yeah, you're right.
You're not pulled over on the side of the road asking questions of a DOT or a police.
No. They're sitting there. You and them are exactly, as they say, equals.
Yeah. How about the competition? Like my understanding was, before I went in it the first time, it was going to be like a hockey game. You go in there, you don't like anybody else. You're gonna try hard. It's gonna be serious. There's gonna be bloodlet.
Yeah. And then you realize it's just having fun.
Yep. Yeah, it is a fun day where people just. I like what you said before, that any day you can have a good day, any day you can have a bad day.
Yeah.
And rookies have won, veterans have won.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say to people that don't compete but are thinking of it?
You got to go in it. Just try it. And believe it or not, you are going to enjoy it, and you're going to want to come back.
Yeah. You have any final excuse me, Any final thoughts with that?
Well, it's coming up this year, and I'm definitely going in it. And you guys should take that chance and just go there and have a good time and have fun.
Yeah, that's great advice. What do you think is the best thing about the trucking industry as a whole?
You know what? It's like family. It's very tight, and everybody knows everybody. It's a small world, made even a little bit smaller, but it's still big. That you know people that some people wouldn't even realize, but yeah, no, they're your brothers and they're your sisters. They are family.
Nice. I like how you put that. Well, that was a great episode with Kelvin, and now we're going to listen to my conversation with Bruce McKechnie. So stay tuned. I want to welcome Bruce McKechnie to the program. Bruce, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Dave. Thanks for having me on today.
So let's get right into this. Tell everybody who you are.
Well, okay, my name's Bruce McKechnie. I work at Bison Transport, coming up on 19 years now, and I've been in the transport industry. I was just thinking before we started the meeting, it's been almost 24 years to the day, almost since I got my license in '99.
Wow,
I've been driving ever since.
nice. What do you do for Bison?
Currently, right now, I'm on the ag division with Roquette. We do a lot of transportation of peas. Plus, we do work for Richardson Pioneer on the grain side, and it's always busy. There's no shortage of work.
You're pulling grain wagons.
Yeah, super beat trains. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. How many years have you competed in the truck driving championships?
Including this year and minus the 2 years of COVID, will be, I think, 14 or 15 years since
Wow.
2007.
Has there been one category you mostly been in, or have you spread it out?
I've tried almost all of them except for the actual class that I started out with, which was a normal 18 wheeler. I've done the straight truck, I've done the super Bs, I've done the single, and I I just try to spread it around a little bit.
Yeah, cool. So, have you have the competitions gone for you?
Uh, I mean, you just go at it the day like you can have the mentality I'm going to win because it's always good to be positive, but it is what it is. It's anybody's day. Somebody could have a small mistake, you could capitalize, or it's just your time to shine, right? So
Yeah.
either way, you go out and have an excellent time and just do what you do. First, last, middle, doesn't matter. We're all there to have fun, right?
Yeah. So it's a day of fun, not so much like a hockey tournament where you're always trying to put the other down, but it's more of an uplifting experience with each other.
Oh yeah, you can have your, you know, uh sarcastic comments and like fun talk with your buddies, and it's all good, who's going to be better, and who's looking worse for wear since you last saw them and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a fun part of it.
For sure.
How do you feel that this helps you in your normal everyday driving?
Uh it definitely helps because everybody's watching you and you're wanting to do your best, so you try to bring all that and have the mindset that this competition for one day is a year where you get to showcase what you've learned in your entire career. And like I said, if it's your day to shine, you're going to do good, and if not, well, the results will indicate that. But yeah, it's fun to see everybody's skill set on the day.
What has been the most challenging part of the competition for you?
uh well, aside from having to show up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know um I don't really know. I get nervous when everybody's watching because you're on the spotlight, right? So
Yeah.
when I first started doing this and we had standards, my knee used to shake badly because I got nervous and it was on the clutch and the truck would start jumping a little bit because I couldn't calm myself down. And other than that, it's just I took my time going slower, and I certainly got dinged for going slower. And but being nervous in the first few years, I didn't do very well.
Yeah. Is there one obstacle on the course that you always you try to raise your game with all the time? Like the one thing that really stands out to you that you want to try and do your best at?
Uh, well, yeah, the backing, the alley dock on the backing, because sometimes it's hard to judge where the bumper is on the back, and you don't get that much of a long pull up to realign and everything. And most of the time, I've probably hit the bumper and stopped after I should have stopped. So that's always been a thing every year. So, and the Super Bs for me was just last year was my first, well, second time doing it. The first year I did it was '07, but I didn't really do well that year. But the Super Bs was the cloverleaf because that's a whole different thing than doing the serpentine with just the straight trailers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the clover leaf is you can get lost in there pretty easily.
well, you got to keep thinking, where's the line? I got to miss that barrel. I got to miss that barrel. Am I going in the right direction? Because it's very easy for a guy to get in there and he makes a split decision and he's not thinking properly and he ends up going through it the wrong way and everybody on the sidelines is going, "What is that guy doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. What do you find? There's a pre-trip component of the competition. You want to describe that to us and what that involves?
Well, that's another part of the steps when you actually are out on your job and they have a mock safety or a mock pre-trip test. They give you I think 8 minutes. You can walk around. You basically have the instructor, or it's usually a compliance officer that day volunteering. You just tell them what you see, all the defects you think are defects, and the list is probably 4 or 5 dozen defects to start. I mean, they could always do something new. You never know. So you always just look and keep talking, and hopefully you've got the defects they try to fool you on.
Are they are they pretty good at finding crazy things to stump you with?
Uh, I know for myself, having asked about my results, I don't think, and this sounds terrible, I've never got a perfect pre-trip on that competition. I've got 4 out of 5, and they definitely do bring something that you're not conscious of, and you're trying to think of so many you could be looking at. So it's easy to miss something that could be obvious, but yeah, they do a good job at that.
So for people that think that compliance officers don't know what they're doing, what would you say?
Uh, well, that's the only foolish thing to think, is that they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Just
Yeah.
like if you've been driving a long time in the industry and you tell them, well, I didn't know, they're probably going to look at you and go, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I I've had many people in the past say, "Oh, I could ace the pre-trip portion of the competition." You hear comments like that?
I do. And I'm happy to hear people comment like that because it means they have the confidence that they're gonna do it. So in their mind, they're the king. We're all the king when we start out, and at the end of the day, the results show who really it was true about that.
Yeah, I've seen that in the competition as well, and I then you find the results later and say, "Well, how was it?" And they're like, "Well, it was a lot harder than I expected."
Well, the good thing is that you can't watch your competitors doing theirs. You can watch everybody else, and it's all different. So nobody's got an edge on anybody.
So they make different defects for different drivers.
Yeah, in between the classes and the drivers, they'll take a few minutes and fix something and do something else. And, you know, it's like I said, it's all about watching and seeing and just speaking about everything you see when you're walking around the unit.
Yeah. So there's a written portion of the competition. How do you find that?
That's usually fairly quick, and the questions from year to year are quite similar. But once you've been doing it a long time, you should know most of the answers to the questions. Sometimes you second guess yourself. You study the manual that the MTA puts out, and yeah, you get 50 out of 50, or you get 40 out of 50, or it is what it is. Or maybe you forget to put your name down. I don't know.
Yeah, that would suck.
So
um, what do you say to people that are thinking of competing, but or maybe not even thinking, but what do you say to other people about the competition?
Uh, well, I would tell them, if you've heard about it and never done it, just ask your company, because most companies involved with the MTA should get invites to this competition. And I would say, don't let what you've heard hold you back from coming out. It is a little bit nerve wracking because, like I said, everybody's watching you, and some people don't want to be put on the spot, and they're worried about being the rookie and coming out at the bottom. But that's not what it's about. It's just about going out to have fun, and you know, nobody there is gonna make you feel like garbage. We're probably gonna make you laugh more than we're gonna make you cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have what advice do you give to first time entrants on the day of the competition and you're there with everybody? What do you say to them?
Uh, just probably relax, breathe, don't overthink it. Go out there and do what you do, and draw on positive energy from your family, your friends, your other co-drivers that are there from other companies. Just try to be as relaxed as you can, and don't overthink your moves or stuff like that.
Do you find yourself giving a lot of advice to other contestants during the day?
Uh, Not so much. I mean, I do see a lot of new people when I've been there. I don't get as many names as I should, and I certainly don't, remember who got Rookie of the Year every year or whatnot. But it's always nice when you pass on a kind word to kind of boost somebody up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk every year.
Well, of course, and you're still looking good like I am.
Yeah. We don't look a day over 80 yet.
So I also like the fact that they for the last few years they've tried to include a spouses competition to in an SUV, so they can kind of see what it's like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's
um,
pretty cool.
it is. They try to be all inclusive of everybody, and I thought maybe next year or one year they should put all the instructors in it to see how they fare, because they set it up and they do it before they actually let everybody out.
That would be interesting. Yeah, see where they stand with us.
Well,
Except
there
Ken,
you
we don't
go.
want Ken to compete.
No, no, no. He can be
No,
the
we'll let
he
it.
can be the critic with the clipboard.
Yeah. Oh man, I always had some fun with having him around when he was competing. I'd get in the truck in the beginning and I'd tell the track marshal, "Yeah, I'm Ken Weeb."
Well, of course, I've got to know my wife, and I've got to know Ken and his wife over the years. We even went to nationals with them a couple times, and very down to earth guy, very nice, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's always nice to see the familiar faces every year.
yeah, it is. Yep. Um, what makes the day so special to you?
Uh, it it's special to me because, like I said, it's an accumulation of what you've done over the year or the years, and it's the one event that you can showcase what you know, and you have all your fellow guests, and it's just the atmosphere and the camaraderie and everything. It's just a positive day where, like I said, I know I don't want to sound cliche, but nobody's a loser.
Yeah, just the fact that you're there is impressive because you can't get in there. We haven't talked about you and I haven't talked about this, but the requirements to get in. Not just everybody can get into the competition, right?
No, you've got to. Well, you have to have at least 1 year in, and I didn't know that until a couple years at Bison that they even had this thing. And the first year I competed was in '07, and that was at the Capion Barracks. We did it there, and then I'm sure you know we moved to Peterbilt for a while. We even did it at the Red River X grounds for a couple years, and now Husky has been generous with us every year. So um, it's definitely a good thing for everybody to come out and just see, you know, even
Yeah.
spectators, like even people just driving by, what's going on today, just pop in and take a look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the requirements, you have to be accident free for a year, or
Yes, of course. My
no at
apologies. Yes, you
fault,
do.
and with no more than two companies in the calendar year or in the
That
previous
that one
year.
I wasn't aware of because I've been there so long. I forgot what that requirement is. I just know that
Yeah,
you try to keep clean the year before.
yeah. Do you find that that's a good deterrent, or are you naturally very safety conscious anyway? Like,
Well, you should be safety conscious everywhere, but at the same time, you compete with the same company every year. It also shows your peers that you're willing to keep working with that company. Even though the challenges might be many, you stay with that company year after year and you keep your nose clean and
yeah,
do the best that you can. Like you said, no at fault incidents. So if there's something that happened, obviously it wasn't your fault. They're not going to penalize you for that.
yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. What do you find is the best thing about the trucking industry itself? What do you enjoy most about trucking?
Uh, well, I've only ever seen it from a company position, never an owner operator. So for me, it would probably almost be the same as an owner operator. I like the freedom. I like having to have my own hours, even though I'm within a time frame I need to meet. I can, stop when I want, have a rest when I want, have a bite to eat. And, you know, what I've learned is, that the customers are important. So you try to treat them the best that you can. And, I've seen comments over the years of how certain companies like certain drivers. And not to say that the other ones are crappy, but, some of them shine a little bit more than others. And, you know, you just go down the road with that mindset, that this is my job, that the economy needs it. I need a job. I need to support my family, provide for my family. And at the same time, I'm providing goods and services for everybody else who needs them.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts for people as we wrap this up?
uh, just uh, try to keep an open mind about the transport industry. I mean, sometimes it's not always cut and dry, and that guy you're out there beside on the highway could be having a good day, could be having a bad day, and he's certainly not out there to ruin anybody's day. And like again, another cliche is, you got it, a truck brought it. So that's probably 99% of what we do is make people happy so they can have a comfortable life. So, but everybody needs a break, not just the drivers, but office staff and everybody. They do hard work too some days. So
What I just thought of this when you're answering this. So if you're at a truck stop and a car pulls in, say that car driver has some questions, what do you think? Should they approach a driver and say, "Hey, I have this question about how trucks are. How do you deal with that situation?"
it's happened on occasion. A few questions about the truck, the industry, the company, and stuff like that. And I wish at one time I'd have got made business cards because you can't do that. It's just easy to have direct them to your office and they can answer all the questions better than maybe we can do. But I just try to answer them the best that I can. If I don't know, I'll tell them I don't know, and I'll just tell them what I do know, obviously, and they go on their way. It is a little bit odd to have them do that because you're always wary on the highway of strange people coming up to you for any reason. So,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I've not ever been really harassed on the highway about anything, and the people have come up to just ask certain questions. So I tell them what I know, and that's it.
I think that's a really good thing, and I really encourage that with car drivers or drivers that aren't driving commercially, ask a driver if they have a question about something, or if you maybe even have a pet peeve about something, come and ask a driver what it's like from their perspective,
Of course. A couple months back, I was over at the local coffee house by your work there in Oak Bluff at Tim's, and I was wearing a T-shirt that said, "I keep the world moving." And the guy said, "I really like that shirt." And I said, "Well, sir," I said, "the truth is we all keep it moving." I said, "If you didn't buy it, I wouldn't bring it."
Yeah.
So it's not just the shirt that a truck driver can wear. It's all supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, that's a good point, that we all have a part, not just that's something that during the pandemic, people were very appreciative of truck drivers, and that's cool. I like that. But without people to feed, without people to buy things, we still wouldn't have a job either. And we are doing the same as everybody else is, trying to make a living and support their families and live a decent life. We're all integral in this. It's all a big circle.
yeah,
Which is
there's
pretty
no.
cool.
I tell people there's really no unimportant jobs. Everybody serves a purpose, whether it's a smaller one or a bigger one. It all fits into the, I guess, the wheel of life, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's a need for everything. That's a really cool perspective, and it's really nice that you bring that out with people out there, that it's not just us. It's a
yeah,
very cool
I
attitude,
can.
Bruce.
Thank you. When I can, uh try to just say what I can and be nice about it and everything. I mean, not all everything about every industry is all nice, but I don't want to deter people from learning more about it. So I'm not going to sit there and tell them the bad things I know, which certainly I could do.
Yeah, you're a
So,
good ambassador for the trucking industry.
well, thank you. I appreciate those kind words.
So, thank you for taking the time to talk about the industry and to talk about the competition. I wish you all the best in the competition coming up, and we'll see you there.
Of
Hopefully, if
course.
everything continues on as normal. And so, thank you very much, Bruce.
No problem. Thank you for having me and giving me an opportunity to say what I know.
Sounds good. I want to send a big shout out to the Manitoba Trucking Association for agreeing to let me put this together for them, and to all the companies that are involved in this, in the truck driving championships, and or just part of the MTA. And everybody's doing their part, like we heard Bruce talk about. It takes all of us to make everything go around. And so remember, there's a couple of dates to remember. The competition is at the Husky Truck Stop in Headingley, Manitoba, June 17th. That's coming up here quickly. And the registration deadline is June 2nd. That's also coming up even quicker. And get signed up. Let's get a full house there. Bring family along. There's going to be a great banquet afterwards. So, and there's going to be industry awards given out there. The Manitoba Driver of the Year. So it's a good event. It's a great event. So again, thanks to the MTA and all the participants and everybody that is working on this behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, in front of a camera, whatever. Thank you to everybody. See you there.